What is going on? This is Yes, I Read That, and today I am reviewing The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. Alright, The Shadow of What Was Lost. Fantasy is back, guys. I know I reviewed a lot of other books this year. I realized I read a lot of, just normal fiction or even non-fiction, so I was super excited to jump back into some fantasy, and this book is actually really good as well. So I'll go straight into my review. I'll talk a little bit about the story without spoiling, which is a bit hard in this book, but I'll try, and talk about my likes, and I'll talk about my dislikes and give you my score for the book. So, the story. The book starts out in a magic school where kids get trained in magic and they read a bunch, and then after a certain point they will have to take a test. And the protagonist of this book, who is called Davian, he is in a bit of a pickle because he still cannot control his magic, but he has to take the test soon. And there's a problem because if the test is not passed, the gifted, which is how people who have an ability to cast magic, these gifted get transformed into something else, into a shadow, and that is basically someone who has their magical reserve sealed off and kind of a disfigured body. They have these marks so everybody can tell they're a shadow. The whole society in this book is very critical of magicians and these gifted, basically. I'll stop calling them magicians, they're called gifted. And if you become a shadow and everybody can see on your body that you are a shadow, then you are basically at the bottom of society and everybody will shame you. Pretty much how it goes. So you definitely don't want to fail this test. But the book pivots away from this magic school very fast when Davian learns that he has to pursue something else that he doesn't really know about in the north. And he leaves the school with his best friend Weir, and they both head towards the north to an unknown location. And basically, this is where I'm gonna stop. So all I wanted to really say is that the magic school is really only the very beginning of the book, and then it turns into a very different book actually. There's a lot more to the story than that, but as I said, I don't want to spoil in case you haven't read the book. So I'm just gonna throw a few points at you without spoiling anything. Few juicy bits of the story. There is a huge backstory with a war 20 years ago and the country isolating after the war, and I'm not gonna spoil anymore, but there's an old magic system that is discovered again for the first time after the war. Crazy stuff like time travel and kind of invading forces in the country and mysterious forces, and it's really a crazy book. It's kind of almost mystery-esque sometimes, but it's obviously kind of a high fantasy book with the protagonist learning about the world, learning about everything, getting stronger. And well, I'll get straight to my likes. So first of all, what I noticed pretty early on, the world building in this book is phenomenal. And I really mean that. I found it so well executed. Every little information you get is somehow believably presented in this world. And there is a lot going on in this world actually. There are so many different aspects, we don't know about a lot of them, even in the end of the book, and the way everything is presented, the way everything is unraveled is just really, really well done. I also really liked the characters and the choices they make. And the best thing about this book is, as I've said before, it's kind of mysterious. We don't really know a lot of the backstory. We don't know what all these characters are thinking. But what I can say after reading the book is that everything I've seen that the characters do actually makes sense. And it's so interesting to have these smart characters who do what they think is best. But on the other hand, you really can't tell what is going to happen next, even though you've been getting this foreshadowing and this. It's crazy, really. The writing in this book is awesome. So yeah, the whole slowly revealing more and more information, the foreshadowing is crazy. The time travel in this book is just, I think this series, it's not complete yet, I believe, but once it is, I think this is going to be a great series for rereading. From what I've read in the first book here, that is just wow. I have to say, it almost reminded me of the Malazan Book of the Fallen, because it has so many, intricate plots and foreshadowing and so many different aspects that you don't know about and slowly learn more about. So it really reminded me of that book a little bit, but Malazan Book of the Fallen is way more complex, obviously. In conclusion, what are my dislikes in the book? I have to say that, first of all, in general, I really liked the book, but there are a few things that I would wish for like a perfect book, and one of them is that the book always seemed kind of grim, and it's this mystery part that also brings a sense of danger around every corner, because you don't really know what the character is really thinking, because you don't really know what is going on, because you don't know who the good guys and the bad guys are even sometimes. So it's kind of tense, and on the one hand that keeps you reading and that really gets the suspense going in the book, but on the other hand it really is a kind of a not dark book, but it really not very bright and hopeful in one sense. And the other thing is, I would have loved to see a bit more of nature descriptions or just location descriptions, because after the book I realized that except for one city they were in, I don't really find any of the places very memorable, and that is sad for me. I always like nature descriptions, even if they're kind of mundane. It's just something that I enjoy, and if it makes my imagination of the book a little more green, a little more colorful, then that really helps with the tone, in my opinion. So, overall, the score I gave this book is an 8 out of 10. As I said, I really enjoyed it. And I think the world building, the characters and the writing is just phenomenal. I'm really excited for the story, and I think this book is part of a trilogy. I'm definitely going to read the second and the third book in the trilogy as well. So look forward to that in the future. But for now, all I can say is really great book. For my liking, it's maybe a little bit too grim and dark, but really it has a lot of charm. If you're into that, then the book is really cool, and maybe I'm describing it a little bit too dark. This is just something that bothers me, that's why I'm saying it, and overall the book is still pretty positive, I would say, yeah. I don't know, is it positive? It's hard to tell without reading the next books. That's all I can say. So yeah, that's it for this review. Thank you very much for watching. If you read the book, let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'm always interested to read that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and leave a sub to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye!